Okay. Thank you very much. It was really interesting to see Matthew's presentation and to realize that in our world we take for granted a lot of things in 2-year span. Of course, this technology is not new, but 2 years ago it was really new. It's interesting to put that into perspective, and since history plays a lot of a big role in even in our technology and in our world. 100 years old is nothing compared to the history of the world. And the first news gatherers and the newscasts, they were the painted caves in Spain and France, right? Many thousands of years ago. This technology, history plays an important role in our technology. So let's start a little bit with taking a few steps on the memory lane here. We all know that collaboration, it was very important in television ever since we started writing with a Sharpie pen or even with a ballpoint pen on those can reels coming from the World War I, and after that World War II or something in between, and then the Betacam SP tapes or any type of tapes, that we needed to pass information from one department to another, from one person to another, from one generation to another. Why not? So it was really important, and the way we did collaboration back in the days was, picking up, I don't want to say cell phone because cellular phone is a very new technology, but you had to be in the phone booth dictating your text, back and forth, and television back in the days was written at a typewriter, right? It was not too long ago, actually. Peter said I was here. I wasn't even born at the time. Who are you calling old? Fast forward a few years, and the tape is now obsolete, or almost. And I remember I was around when we thought, oh, great! Now we don't have to have those tape formats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tape formats. We thought it was too much. How many file formats do we have? The answer to that question is we don't know. There are probably 5 or 6 of them coming up this quarter, right? But it's really fun because the industry dynamics makes us keep up with the evolution of things, even in broadcast television and news. And going from the left end to the right end, we figured that out. We figured that out many years ago, right? What changes now, what changed is, as Matthew put it, is this: the consumer, the person who is still watching television. I do watch television, when I'm in an airport lounge. But other than that, I catch up with news on my phone. I catch up with news when I open up, a web browser. That's how I catch up with broadcast news. So the consumer changed. And the consumer, by the fact that the consumer changed, it changes us how to produce those stories and how to broadcast. I still use, with air quotes, the word broadcast, even though it's not necessarily the traditional broadcast. So we still need to deliver high quality and inspiring content. And we do that. We know, it says customer needs because it's our Avid's customers, right? But it's us, it's you, it's us. We still need to deliver the high quality content and inspiring content, but the problem or the challenge here is with the same amount of people at the station or at the news organization, we have to produce and publish on multiple platforms. And the way in order to be able to be the first to break the news, to be the first or among the first to publish that story, is that we need to collaborate as early as possible. And no more phone calls, no more. Now, sure, we have text messaging, we have iPhones and other type of smartphones, but still, we need to be able to move from that ballpoint or Sharpie pen writing on a jacket of a tape to collaborate with metadata and do review and approval way before we get to the station. So that is the important thing. So we have to have this collaboration while we are on the field, and that slide there tells the story that, a few years ago, our workflows were kind of like, okay, well, they were not connected. You had producers at the station and journalists taking an interview, and then how do you connect the dots? You still had the phones, you still had internet, but there was something missing there. And like I said, the challenge is not throwing more people at the issue, but resolving the issues with the same amount of people that we have now staffed. So it's the idea is optimizing the value of an asset that already exists and we already produce. We're already spending money to produce that asset. How do we optimize the value of that asset? And by that, it doesn't mean selling more, but publishing on more platforms. Be the first to be the first or among the first to break the story, to break the news on multiple platforms. And at Avid, what we did was to take all the portfolio that we had and break it down on these layers. We have the storage and the media and the artist suite, but what is more important here is to make it so much modular that you can plug a module today, because the platform is open, plug a module and have, if you notice, I think all the way in the back you cannot see that well, the top layer there is Windows, iOS, and Android, and Windows Mobile. That is the power of today's cloud collaboration. It's not just, that is not consuming, that is producing. We are able to produce and publish stories with mobile devices and allow for collaboration between all parties involved. And the technology underneath, because I mentioned openness here, the technology underneath is a bus, an enterprise bus, RabbitQM for those of you who wanted a name. And we broke we broke the paradigm of having, when I mention Avid, everybody says, oh, I know your product. You mean Media Composer? Yeah, that's a great, yeah. Sure, we long past that. And we broke all of the services that were inside one box into services and atomic services, as you can see there, based on foundational services, media, and functional services. And at all of those stages, we have third-party integration. And that is what makes us so open, so we can collaborate and add. If today is Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, tomorrow it probably is, let's call it the next Facebook. We can plug it in, and we can collaborate, and we can publish easily. And we talk about news in the cloud and how to produce in the cloud and all that. Obviously, when we say cloud, we don't say, I don't know, Google Drive or Dropbox. We talk about a private cloud, which gives us, you, the customers, the same functionality, but it's a private cloud. You own that cloud. It's your infrastructure. It's basically the same infrastructure that you have at the station. You know, all those hardware and software, but because we have those little modules that you can connect on top of the infrastructure, that makes the infrastructure be your private cloud. And very, very soon, we actually started, we're going to move into the public, is probably not the right word there, but it's public cloud like Amazon S3, for example. It's still not, you know, off the shelf, but it's almost off the shelf public cloud. And we started with that, and you will see more of public cloud in the near future. And because I don't want to hear that those lashes very soon. I want to take you to onto a trip. It's really interesting how we today we think of news production and news gathering. Let's get on a field trip and take a look at the life of a piece of a story in the news environment today. So I'm the reporter. I just woke up. I hit the coffee pot. I'm at home, and I get my iPhone or my smartphone out, and I get a text message that I have to go to such and such place. I have to drive to such and such place where a small plane crashed into the field. Nothing wrong happened. You know, everybody survived. But it's a story that I have to break for 6 o'clock, and I have to drive there, and I have to be in a way independent for a while until, you know, the whole television crew arrives. So we have the producer at the stations and the journalist at his home, and he's getting ready to get to the assignment. And I'm like I said, I'm the journalist. I have my mobile phone, and I'm connected with that particular mobile phone, smartphone, to the newsroom computer system at the station. I can get all the contacts, not the contact that are on my phone's contact, but the newsroom computer system contacts. And I can call the fire department. I can call anybody in my contact list without needing a secretary to do that for me. So I'm extremely mobile. And we can, with this mobile platform, we can create and edit the story there. But let's don't anticipate. And let's say I arrived at the scene, and I already took a picture of the plane. And I automatically send it to my newsroom folks back at the station. They can use Twitter, they can use whatever means to break or to create a quick teaser and to give them an idea of what is going on, what is the size of the disaster or of the event, so they can start prepping for the 4 o'clock in anticipation for the 6 o'clock news. And what allows us to collaborate is actually, you saw the big platform, Avid platform, but what allows us to collaborate are those little modules that are plugging on the infrastructure. And our interface changed a lot. It's a web-based interface. I don't know if you're familiar with Media Central UX, but this is running on a Google Chrome or on a native application like iOS or Android for select devices. And we're able to send messages, no more emails. Oh, I sent you an email with such and such. No more telling me in what folder did you place that video or that footage. No, I send a message and I attach that video to the message, and it's within the same platform. We have the newsroom system, the production system, the video editing system. Basically, I have a portable newsroom editing and newsroom writing system in my pocket or on my laptop, because it gives me a little bit more power to do more things. And not only that, but I can, like we said, that we set the premises that way. We have the multi-platform distribution. From that particular platform, that handheld platform, that mobile platform, we can publish to multiple platforms. It's not just the traditional broadcast, but it's also the Facebook, the YouTubes, the Twitter accounts, and the CMS, our websites. Why not? What enables us a true collaboration in the field is a piece of technology based on open source called Elasticsearch. Everyone knows Elasticsearch. That allows us to search by keywords, and it indexes, excuse me, it indexes kind of like ahead of time. Instead of running a search and searching a database as we speak, it indexes every single entry in that database on a separate lightweight database and allows us to search metadata and find metadata and find assets across not just one, but several databases and several production systems or media asset management systems, if you wanted to put it that way. So it searches across several groups. So is it archived? If I'm a big news organization, is it here at this facility where I belong to, or is it somewhere on the West Coast? It doesn't really matter. With my handheld device, I can search multiple databases and find archived assets, and I can do deliver to me, meaning deliver to my station, and be able to collaborate, add metadata, edit, send messages within the same system, within the platform, to send messages, text messages with video and metadata annotations. So the multi-platform distribution is enabled from the web browser, from the platform, and it allows us to publish using off-the-shelf, commercial off-the-shelf, so to speak, players on the market from the field, actually. And let's get back to our story, because I kind of digressed there. I am on the field, and the producer is at the station working using the same platform. We collaborate from the field and back to the station using the same platform. I'm editing, and you can see the timeline there on the right-hand side. Something happened with this monitor, by the way. You can see editing on the right-hand side, and the text, the story here, side by side. And this is what the producer is using, or the editor is using at the station, and this is actually what I can see in the field. So we are collaborating from the station and in the field. Remember that slide when I said that, well, they are kind of like separated? That's how we tie things together. So all those people that used to be separated and the only way of communicating was probably a cell phone or email, they are communicating amongst each other with metadata, with video, with the story, writing the story. This is the remote production. And the way we enable remote production, I mentioned the Media Composer earlier. We have a Media Composer cloud that allows for an editor or a journalist editor to edit with combine footage that was shot 2 minutes ago. It's on my P2 or XD cam camera card with footage that is at the station. What footage at the station? Well, remember that back in the days, not too long ago, in order for the field editor to use footage at the station, had to compile a small tape, or later on a hard drive, and take it on the truck, and hope that got everything he or she needed. Not anymore. What I have with me is my laptop with Media Composer Cloud connected via 4G LTE, or if I have wireless Wi-Fi at the hotel, and the footage that I just shot. A very interesting interview with a very interesting person, and I have the B-roll at the station. It's like having everything on my laptop. Every single piece of media that I have at the station, hundreds and hundreds or maybe thousands of hours of footage that I can access from my field laptop. And I can edit and upload. I can upload what I just shot, the 15, 20, 30 seconds of video that I just shot, and it's on my local drive. I can upload transparently to the user. It's a right-click, enable, upload to the station, and everything I put on my timeline that is local and is not present at the station, it's uploaded in the background. And I can send to the playback. I have the ability to send low res first, 2 megabits per second, which in News is perfectly fine, H.264, and high res it transfers at its own pace later from the same Media Composer Cloud timeline. So that is what enables us the cloud collaboration. The Media Central player is the key player. It's the key player that enables us to browse and play back the video that is at the station on my local Media Composer Cloud. AMA plugin, which is the way to ingest and use native media from the P2 or XD-CAM card. I'm just giving the examples, but it can be any media on a card that has been shot. Media Composer, which is the traditional Media Composer. Don't think of something really, really special. What is really, from the interface, from the GUI perspective, what is really, really special is the technology underneath, but a Media Composer editor can use it today. And obviously the transcoders and the services in the background. If you remember that big PowerPoint slide with all the services in small boxes. So back to our story. I already was in contact with my producers at the station. I saw some B-roll, old B-roll about that plane that crashed maybe, or about that the neighborhood where it crashed. I saw, I was able to be on site, on premise, to shoot with my handheld camera if I needed to. I opened my Media Composer, I edited the story, and I am ready. I'm ready to be live with my, see the crew arrived at the site, right? And I'm ready to be live after I edited everything. What else do I need in order to be, live on camera? Well, I need to have my script. I'm not that good at improvising, you can tell. So I need to have my script. The script obviously is on my handheld device. It's either on my iPad or on my iPhone, because it is connected to the newsroom computer system at the station. So I have a mini teleprompter in my pocket as well. And last but not least, the government mandates here in the United States that by the end of the year we close caption everything. So I just wanted to put it there. It's in the player, in the web browser player. The interview that has been uploaded, those 15, 20 seconds of interview that I just shot half an hour ago, they are already uploaded to the station, and someone closed caption directly into the system. I don't need for 10, 15 seconds of an interview, I don't need to export it and send it to a closed captioning studio or a closed captioning facility. I can close caption there directly. And so I have a complete mobile journalist tool set in my pocket. Either on a web browser, on my laptop, or my handheld device, which enables true collaboration and true cloud news producing in my pocket. What allows that is the unified platform that we talked about from the beginning. It's the Avid Everywhere platform that connects everything anywhere I am or everywhere I am, and gets you, like we said it, like I said at the beginning, this didn't, the way we produce, and we don't invent an event. The event is there. As broadcaster, as a news broadcaster, I have to be there and cover it. But what makes this new cloud collaboration very important is that I am able to be in touch on that platform with everybody in the newsroom. It breaks down the walls, the 4 walls or the 18 walls of the broadcast environment, of the news environment. I don't have to be confined to those 4 walls anymore. Thank you very much.